hope you like this video. Just subscribe, like, and click the bell to be notified of more content just like this. Delighted to welcome Ian Cockbain, Gloucestershire's star man this season. Why? What's happened? Why? Well, I mean, you've been in good form for a number of years, but why? Why particularly just now?
I don't know, really. It's just one of those things, you know. Things have just clicked this year. I'm striking the ball probably as well as I ever have done. So, it's just one of those. We've batted first in most games, which has sort of given me a bit of a license to go a bit harder than I probably would do normally. And yeah, it's just been one of them seasons that's just gone pretty well, to be honest.
At the same time, it must be one of the most weird cricket seasons you've ever had.
Yeah, bizarre. This is probably the longest break I've had in about 10 years, I reckon. So it was actually quite nice to sort of have that mental refresh and, sort of fall back in love with the game again, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's weird, isn't it? TV and all that kind of thing. I mean, I'm sitting there watching you against the Birmingham Bears. I'm flicking through Sky Sports, and it's teeming down. It's freezing. It's a 12-over game, and then you go out and perform like that. I mean, what was going out there? What was your mindset? What were you thinking? I want to get off here because I'm freezing.
I'll tell you what, it was cold. No, it was it's one of them days where you're just hanging around and you're sitting in the changing rooms, not really knowing what's going on. We managed to get a little bit of a warm-up done in the indoor school. Obviously, at Edgbaston, they've got great facilities, so we sort of got in there, had a bit of a hit and a bowl, and, sort of got our heads around playing again. And then we knew it was a 12-over game, so, you don't really have much time to pat a few back and have a look at them. So, you just sort of get on with it and try and hit as many boundaries as you can.
Is it? I mean, they analyse it so well on the telly, but there's a lot of time I just think you've just got to swing as hard as you can. Is that being unfair?
Yeah. Well, you sort of target your boundaries. There was a short edge on one of the sides, so I was pretty much wherever they were bowling it, I was trying to hit it towards that short edge. And yeah, as long as you're swinging hard enough and you get a decent piece of it, then you're sort of pretty confident that you might get it over the row.
What kind of reaction was there for you when you came off and that night?
Obviously, everyone was pretty happy. You don't really know what a good score is in 12-over cricket because you obviously don't play a lot of it. But we thought that we'd done pretty well, and we were pretty confident that they weren't going to chase that down.
Okay, what about the quarterfinals now? I've been stalking you, reading up all about you on your Twitter, everything, following you, because you made the last 8 3 out of 4 years. What is it that in T20? I still think anything can happen. But well, put it this way: are you confident going into the Northants game?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we played them in our group as well, which is a bit of a bonus, I guess. So we sort of know what we're coming up against, and we beat them at their place. So if we know that if we play our best cricket, we can beat anybody in the country. So it's just about turning up on the day and making sure that you do perform.
What's it like without the fans?
It's like playing second team cricket. Like, you normally turn up at a club ground, playing a couple of, in the second team 2020 comp, you play 2 games in a day, with like 2 men and the dog come and watch. So it's a little bit like that, really. When you notice it more in the field, you don't notice it when you're batting, because obviously you're facing against, some of the best bowlers in the country. So, when they're wazzing it down at 90 clicks, then, you haven't got much time to think about the crowd or lack of crowd.
I must admit, I was watching sort of like, watched all the blast, and I was thinking on the Western Terrace, it must be a little bit of a blessing when there's no crowd there. If you fumble one on the boundary like you're feeling a lot of the time, it's actually, you turn around and think, actually, it's not bad, there's no one here.
Yeah, we were joking about that with the lads the other day. It was like, you go to somewhere like a Chelmsford or Somerset or some cop abuse for 20 overs, and like where I normally boundary as well. So, my name doesn't really, it attracts a lot of attention. So as you can imagine, I cop quite a lot of abuse.
Brilliant. Well, how big would it be for the county to get to finals day?
It'll be massive. We haven't been there for quite a long time now. Certainly before I joined, which has been 10 years. So, since my time here, we've got to 4 quarterfinals and unfortunately been beaten all 4 of them. So, you know, to make that final step and get to finals day just as a whole would be a great achievement for the club.
I mean, I've been reading your stats. You were fantastic in the Blast last year. You've been brilliant this year. Why does nobody in the IPL or the Big Bash or the Caribbean Premier League, why don't they give you a knock on the door and say, come and play for us? It's
a tough one, you know. It's you know, I put my name in the hat for all the competitions throughout the world every year, and nothing ever comes of it.
Why? Why does it not come? I'm not saying is it, you know, is it I don't know, is it just sort of breaking through that glass ceiling or what? Why is it not happening?
It's a tricky one to answer, really. Obviously, I haven't played any higher honours, so you know that's a big stumbling block. The guys who tend to play like on the England Lions or who are playing in the full international team, you know, they sort of get picked up all around the world. And you know, I look at my stats across, you know, quite a long time, and you know, they stack up with some of the lads who are playing international cricket, and you think, well, you know, it might be playing at an unfashionable county, or you know, your name's not as high profile as others. So, you know, there's a lot of things that go with it, and that's certainly a bugbear of mine of not getting picked up in any of the franchises going around, and obviously missing out on the 100 last year as well.
Will there be a redraft for the 100?
The teams have been given the option to retain players, but obviously there's going to be a rethink of the overseas, and also the Colpacks I don't think are allowed to play in the next one. So, you know, that opens up quite a lot of spots going forward, and hopefully then, you know, my name sort of crops up, and that could be the foot in the door for these other competitions around the world.
I mean, the likes of the Caribbean Premier League, the Bangladesh Premier League. I mean, in the UAE recently, there was a T10, which I think will get more and more. I just wonder if something like that might appeal. It might be a little sort of way in, a toehold in, if you like.
Absolutely, yeah. And again, like I say, I put my name in the hat for all of them. You know, it's one of those things. If you sort of get into one of the tournaments and you do well, and you know, the coaches tend to go around the tournaments together as well. And, you know, the coaches have got their favourites, and, you know, they tend to pick up the same people for the different teams around the different comps.
Ian Cockbain, get him now in the biggest franchises. You're missing out. All you coaches, all you agents, all you people out there, get him in now. Just watch his YouTube stuff. It's absolutely amazing. Listen, can I ask you, what... is there a massive difference between, say, you playing red ball cricket and obviously T20, apart from the fact you've got to hit a lot quicker? Is it a massive technique change?
I feel like there is, yeah. You know, white ball cricket sort of suits my game. I sort of hit offside and, you know, give myself a bit of room and what have you. And then when the ball starts doing a little bit, then, you know, you might get found out. But, you know, I've played a lot of red ball cricket at the start of my career. You know, I played 50 odd games or something like that. So, you know, on average maybe 30 or whatever it is. You know, I still want to play red ball cricket. You know, I haven't had a great opportunity to play red ball cricket over the last 4 or 5 years. And it's just one of those things. Now you sort of get pigeonholed quite early on in your career of what sort of suits you. But you know, I still feel like my defence is good enough to play red ball cricket, and you know, I can score runs, which has obviously been shown in white ball.
I guess you're an advert as well for maybe if it doesn't work out to begin with, because you played in Lancashire, it didn't quite work out. Then you went to the MCC Academy. For all cricketers out there, for players who are maybe trying to break through, what does that bring you, the MCC Academy, and how did it help you?
Well, helped me enormously. You know, I played my junior cricket from Lancs right through from under 11s all the way through to second team cricket. I was on the academy there, you know, and when the time when I was coming through, the squad was so big. You know, if everyone was fit, like the guys in the academy just wouldn't even get a game. So for me, it was a bit of an easy move to move away, and you know, I got an opportunity with the MCC Young Cricketers, which, you know, sort of put me in the shop window, if you like. And every game that you play is a trial game. You know, you're on trial at every opportunity, which, you know, a lot of counties who you don't normally play against, you get to play against. You get to, you know, impress different coaches, and you know, if you do well, then the opportunity is there to get picked up.
You're 33 now. How young do you feel? I mean, everybody's I mean, I'm finding it in my business. Everybody's ageist incredibly. It sounds ridiculous at 33, but do people look at your age now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, obviously that's a big thing. Will be making the higher honours and getting picked up on an England tour or what have you. They look at it and go, are they going to pick a 33-year-old? Or are they going to pick a 23-year-old who's got, let's say, similar-ish sort of stats? They're obviously going to go with a 23-year-old. But then you can't sort of classic cliche of you can't buy experience. So it's.
I go with that.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. Like I still feel young. I still move well in the field. I'm still probably as fit as I can be, I guess. It's one of those things. My body might pack up tomorrow. You never know. But at the minute, I feel in good nick.
Are you the nervous type?
No, not really. I sort of worked that one out pretty quickly. In the professional game, you sort of look at it and you go, well, it's a job at the end of the day. Like, you look at someone who works in an office, if they've got a big case to work on, do they get nervous when they go into the office? Probably not. Me going out in the cricket field, my office, and, it's, you're going out there to do a job, and ultimately that's how you're judged of whether you do your job or not.
Are you superstitious?
Again, no, not at all.
You must be one of the few, to be fair, because cricket is notoriously, putting your left sock on first. I mean, even Josh Butler writing stuff on his bat and all that. I mean, that's quite surprising, actually.
Yeah, I know there's a few odd ones knocking around. We got a few routines that I do subconsciously, which I don't really think about. But it's definitely not I've got to put my kit away a certain way. I've got to put my pads on right leg, left leg, or do my straps up a certain way. It's just, I probably put my straps on the same way every time. It's nothing to think about. It's probably just a subconscious routine, I guess.
What's your favourite venue to play at? What's your favourite ground?
Lords, has to be every day of the week. Just the tradition and the everything that goes with Lords is amazing. But if you look at like something like a pure atmosphere, if you guess, playing a 2020 at the Oval on a Friday night, it doesn't get much better than that, really. Yeah, it's pretty special.
Best bowler you faced?
Oh, it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
I mean, that Birmingham Bears attack, even in the 12 overs, was pretty tasty, wasn't it? You got Jimmy Patel, Stone. I mean, there's some good players around.
Ollie Stone was sending them down at a decent rate of knots. It's a tough one. Like the best bowler, you come across some very different bowlers. Got guys who bowl 90 mile an hour trying to knock your head off, who are certainly very good bowlers, and you've got guys, someone like a Benny Howell, for example, who plays with us, who bowls at 70 mile an hour, and he's also one of the best T20 bowlers in the world. So yeah, it's a tough one. I don't really know. I can't really put a name to the best bowler, I guess.
Okay. What will your preparations be then between now and Thursday?
Same as it normally is, really. We had a training session last night under lights. In case we do get to finals day, we're pretty confident of getting to finals day, and we haven't played a lot under lights this year, given the circumstances. So that was quite nice to get outside and get under the lights and have a bit of a hit in the field out there. Tomorrow, pretty much just do your own stuff, whatever you need to do to get ready. For me, that'll be, I'll go and face a few bowlers. Have a couple of underarms, make sure I'm hitting the ball out the middle of the bat, and I'm sort of keeping good shapes. And as long as I'm hitting the ball clean, then I feel pretty confident.
I'm glad you got a blue shirt on. I thought you'd come with a sort of Carlo Ancelotti's King T-shirt on or something like that, because your beloved Blues, they're not quite top of the league, but they're nearly there, aren't they?
I know we've got off to a great start, haven't we? That's one of the big disappointments about being down here is missing the footy, and I don't get to watch a lot. And in the winters, I normally go overseas. So yeah, it's something I do miss. I do miss greatly. Obviously, I had a season ticket with my old man, and that was my sort of childhood, if you like, was going to watch the footy in the winter, and I used to love it, and I miss it. I miss it a lot.
Who was your favourite player?
Have to be Big Dunk, I guess. Big Dunk's probably my go-to favourite player.
I don't blame you. You can't argue with that. Hey, listen. So. We wish you all. It's lovely talking to you. We wish you all the best on Thursday, and hopefully we'll be watching and hoping and praying that you you make it through to finals day. Are you confident? Is there a confidence in the camp that this time you can get there?
Absolutely. You know, we've played some bloody good cricket this year. You know, our batters have pretty much all chipped in. Our bowlers have all chipped in. And we've probably got one of the best fielding units going around. So, like I said earlier, if we play our best cricket, then I'm pretty confident that we can beat anybody on our day. So, you know, we just need to make sure that we turn up to the office on the day and do our jobs.
The 100, the Big Bash, Caribbean Premier League, IPL, T10s everywhere. Get this man in. Ian Cockbain, lovely to talk to you, mate. Thanks very much.
No, not a problem at all. Thanks very much, Rob.